Greetings again, dear human beings. The voice speaking to you now speaks on behalf of the Arcturian Council. You are familiar with many of the beings, consciousnesses, individuals that have been a part of our general assembled collective frequency. Now another individual voice is addressing you. Another voice coming from the assembled high ones of the council, the 12 overpoint consciousnesses that reside at the top of the hierarchy of configurations. Do not be confused by these hyperdimensional layers of reality. Know that we are capable of transmitting the knowledge we want to bring to you in the frame where we are learning and you are benefiting too. From this hierarchy of the 12, this upper echelon of consciousness that exists within the 9th dimensional Arcturial Council, you are hearing the voice of Alam. Alam, A-L-A-M, is the word that I'm bringing forward. You may think of me as the caring component. That is our friend here, the transmitter, aligning its energy with ours and allowing for human voice to accommodate this message and vibration. The transmitter is already aware of a being called Lam, also a part of the 12. But Lam presides over much of the historical species, or historical awareness of our species. I preside over the parts of it that are eternal. You could think of me as the mothering principle of our species. So, wombs are my creation, matrices are my architecture. I set up chambers, protective spaces, rules and laws to govern the flow of energy. And governing the flow of energy is all creation is about. Therefore, I, Alam, coming to you with deep, sublime, unending love, this day I transmit to you our deepest gratitude for this exchange, because we are passing a flame to you, a spark. We are forwarding from our past experience to your future benefit. We wish to transmit to you the knowledge of funneling energy through steady systems of frequency using matter. We wish to transmit to you the sacred knowledge of the crystal body, this installment of our communicated messages relates to the upper echelons, that is, the invisible and intangible layers of your being. Notice that these layers of your being, you have often established the most precision in understanding them when you have approached them negatively. So when you look for the eternal, higher parts of yourself, you look around and you look at the manifest world and you see that this higher part of you, this eternal part of you, is not present there. Not there, not there, not anywhere you go. And there you go, tumbling back into the inner recesses of your experience, down to the staircases of your inner landscape, tumbling further down through cellars, hidden away, sparsely illuminated, darkly ambient, and down into voids, further down into abysses. You look within yourself, seeking to find this solid ground. Where is this solid ground? Well, it was around you the entire time. It is the container that holds the experience of things falling away. And therefore you can only approach it as this, as light, as a medium invisible that contains all lesser things reflecting it within it. This is the nature of your true and infinite self. But your true and infinite self it holds certain frequencies. There are certain ways of being that exist only once, coming to pass in that you are, coming to pass in your unique flicker of existence and the great eternal sky of the all. So notice that universal energy runs through you, then through a specific pattern, through a frame that surrounds everything, through a steadiness that encompasses all the spaciousness that your inner experience contains. This is exactly like the nature of crystals. Crystals are steady gritworks that funnel energy through specific patterns. Once you have completed the cycle of incarnation and you find yourself observing the world from our vantage point, you will see that these patterns of energy, they are primary, primordial, a priori. They are the first thing that is in existence. Apart from the energy itself, these patterns are what creates shape, form, makes development and interaction possible. And these patterns are very steady when they are embedded in the mineral world. Therefore, you find your instinct of eternity always drawn out by the reflection of the stone, by the material of solidity. Therefore, often stones have been the object of religious worship. They have been thought to contain the deity, even be the deity itself. And they have been known to hold sacred energy for the intergenerational space that is as ancestors pass on and generations move through life. The stone and that which is worshipped within remains the same. And even when you relate to these mineral patterns individually, you find yourself called to uncover the inner shape within. Some of you become very skilled stone cutters to be able to do this. Some become very good at discerning which rocks are worth assembling, which ones are worth collecting. But notice this calling to connect to their energy, to feel as you interact with them, as you mold that piece of stone in your hand. You are also bringing forward that frequency in yourself. To simplify, human beings are created from a steady energy pattern in which universal energy is funneled into specific and unique expressions. Crystals solidify energy patterns into steady structures that activate these potentials then within the human energy pattern. So whenever you are interacting with a faceted crystal, describing to you now that the body bringing us through is holding up a rose quartz crystal. This is a prime example of a faceted crystal. And when you are interacting with this, you will find that this will stir the steady, healing energy pattern of white blood cells. So you will find that right now, as this body has picked up this crystal, its energy field is attuning to it. The crystal's energy field is also attuning to the body's energy field. So you may sense that crystals can become slightly inert or charged with more fuzzy energy because their purity in their energy grid allows for them to then absorb what does not belong to it. So it's extracting it from your energy body and picking it up in its own energy body. This is why you often feel that it is helpful for you to replenish crystals or to involve them in some kind of purification ritual. It's also important to dust them off, for instance, to not let them grow too stale in your presence, because they are essentially miniature temples. And much as you go to temple to also rid yourself of negative impulses and emotions, to put in you the illuminated vibration of worship and aligning with the great and universal principles of all creation. Well, in the same way, you find that when you exit the temple purified, it will also be necessary for people to clean the temple, to again allow for its reverent silence to grow. And within all energy, behind it, sits a reverent silence. Within the frequency grids of crystals, there is a vast spaciousness, an open inner potential. And this is where your mind, purified, sanctified, elevated, allows for new reality and new creation to come to be. This cannot be predicted by the outcomes of what has already come to pass. This will be the great and novel surprise that you are bringing forward in existence by funneling universal energy, the love that creates all things, through your harmonic and aligned being. And we, along with the rest of the sentient beings that inhabit this time-space, we marvel at what you create. Therefore, on behalf of the 12 High Ones, I, Alam, the great Mother Consciousness of the Arcturian race, I bid you farewell in love, in peace, with benedictions. Goodbye.